Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Time to make another card today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Simcoe, Ontario, and if you live in Canada anywhere and you don't have your own demonstrator, you can shop with me. My email is stampsandtea@gmail.com, and my Stampin' Up website is stampsandtea.stampinup.net. So the card we're going to make today, I'm using old stamp sets because they do what I want it to do, or what I wanted it to do in my mind, if you will. But we are using some current product. Of course, the card stock is current colours. We're going to use this Glimmer specialty paper, which is on page 31 of the June to December, July to December mini catalogue. It's $13.75 and you get 6 sheets. This is a better view of it. 6 12 by 12 sheets, 2 very vanilla, 2 gold and 2 evening evergreen, and it really has an awful lot of sparkle to it. We're also going to use the golden vanilla satin edged ribbon from the same collection. Yeah, and that's all we're going to use from this collection. So what we have is we have a piece of Poppy Parade, which is a full sheet, and we're going to cut it down to 8.5 by 7 because we're going to make a tall card today. So 8.5 by 7. I'll put this down to. And we're going to score it at 3.5. Nice score line. Just give it a little burnish there. Hold it in place. The piece that's left, we're going to cut a mat for the front out of it, and it's going to be 7.5 by 2.5. And 7.5 by 2.5. There. We've got, I've already cut a piece of the shimmer, the glimmer paper. We're going to use the very vanilla, and this piece is 7 3/4 by 2 3/4, and it's going to be the mat for the front of the card, and then this piece is going to go on top of there like that. We've got a piece of very vanilla, which is 7.5 by 2.5, and we're going to pop that on the inside just so you've got somewhere to write. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you the stamp set we're going to use. It's the Frosted Gingerbread stamp set. It's probably, what? I think it may have been in last year's winter catalogue, but it may have been a year before. Time gets away from me. And we're also going to use the dies that go with this set. Now I'm using the dies because, see the star here, it's got lots of, maybe if I put it on the red you'll see, lots of cutout pieces, and that's what I want because I want the shimmer paper to shine through there. And you'll see what I mean when I cut them all out. So let me just tidy up some space here, and we'll do the embossing first on the Poppy Parade mat. And because these are photopolymer stamps, I need my Stamp and Pierce mat to give me a better impression, or a good impression. Let me turn it that way, and I'm going to line my card up with the end of it, and I'm going to bring in my embossing tools, my heat embossing tools. I'm going to wipe this over gently. I'm not going to pounce on it. I'm just going to wipe it over gently to get rid of the static on there. And I've got a Versamark pad here, and I've got a stamp from the stamp set, and it says wishing you a Merry Christmas. So I'm just going to dab that in the Versamark pad, make sure it's nicely covered, and it's going to go right in the center on the bottom of the card. press it down hard to get a good impression. That's nice. Let me just put that over there. Put the lid on the Versamark, and we're going to heat emboss this in gold. And I'm just going to bring in a couple of scraps of paper so that I can just pour the embossing powder. I can use this to emboss on, but then I can pour the embossing powder right back into the container when I'm finished. Hopefully with very little mess. So I've got a little spoon here, a plastic spoon. I'm just going to sprinkle that over my Versamark. Ping it gently. Take my paintbrush, I've got a clean paintbrush here, and I'm just going to run it down the sides just to get, and along the bottom, to get any stray pieces of embossing powder off. I think we'll leave it at that. We'll put that there. And this is what I mean by just pour the embossing powder back from the paper right back into the container with very little mess. And you get the lid on it right away so you don't blow it all away. Back in there. I'm just going to warm up the heat gun for a second. And I'm just going to heat this. Now you need to keep your heat gun moving. And what will happen is, all of a sudden this will go shiny if we've done it right. There you can see it's starting to go. Make sure you've got it all heated up nicely. A bit on the end of the W there. Yes, that looks good. Pop that out of the way. There, so you see that's all gone nice and shiny, and it's readable, which is always a good sign when you've embossed. So now we're going to cut some shapes out of here. We're going to bring in the mini cut and emboss. And I need plates 1 and 2. There's my number 1. I'm just going to turn this so I can see where my plates are. And there's a number 2. I'm just going to pull that back a tiny bit. Put my cardstock down. Now I can let the top of the cardstock hang off the edge of the first plate just a little bit, because we're going to put a bow at the top of the card anyway. We're not going to cut out right to the top of the card. So let me get that right in the middle. There we're going. Sometimes it just takes, you just have to move your plates back and forwards a little bit just to get it so that you've got everything. And I'm going to try and bring this back through just to see if I can get all the pieces cut out the first time. There. Put that down. Open this up. So we've got a lovely star and a bell and a snowflake. Let me put these plates out of the way. Give us more room to work. Here. Now. I got my picker tool here, and I'm just going to poke these little pieces out. Most of them will come right out, hopefully. That worked well. Alright, so we're going to put this card together now. Put the dies to the side. Let's clean up some room and we'll work. Okay, so let's bring in the parts of the card. This is the base of the card. This is going to go on the inside like that. This piece that we heat embossed is going to go on top of this, just like this. You're going to have about 1/4 inch all the way around, and then I'm just going to lay these pieces back inside the spaces they came from. But I'm going to put this up on dimensionals first of all, and it just creates a nice effect on your card, just to give it a little extra. Okay, so now the fun part, counting the tops on the dimensionals that were taken off. That should be all of them. There we go. We'll just turn this to the light and make sure everything is shiny and we're not missing any. Put this down. Now, as I say, we should have about 1/4 inch all the way around. If you put it down gently with this end first, you can see your 3 sides. It should be about even all the way around. There. Turn it over and just give that a press to make sure it's down tight. There. Okay, now you got 2 choices. You can put this on your card right now, or you can put the pieces in. I'm going to put this on the card right now, and I am just going to use my Tombow snail adhesive. All the way around, because I don't want this to fall off my card either. And again, line it up. This time I should have 1/2 inch all the way around. I'm looking at 3 sides here, and I can scooch it over a little bit. I hope I put that on the right way because I didn't check, and I did. That was a lucky break. There. This piece is going to go on the inside. Just so that you've got somewhere to write. Again, about 1/2 inch all the way around. Lovely. Now we're going to put these pieces in. Now I'm going to bring in my silicone mat, and I'm going to use some liquid glue. Okay, we've got the star at the top. I'm going to put glue in the middle and glue all the way around the outside. And that's the reason I'm using this silicone mat, because the glue won't stick to this, but I want this to stick really well to my card. So this is my star. This is going at the top. Let me just give that a push, and I'm just going to set it down back into the shape. I'm going to use my picker tool. I'm going to hold the corners down, or the points, try and pick the card up over it. There, that's one. Got a bell next. Same again. Pick it up carefully. Pop it right down into the shape. Tuck it in. And get the snowflake. Working it around again. This one's a little harder because it wants to stand up and doesn't want to go down in very well. And then I'll just bring in my little bow maker, and I've got some satin ribbon here, satin edged ribbon, and I'm just going to make a little bow with it. Whoops. Pull that up tight. Make sure my loops are flat, my ribbon's flat. Just going to put this on a glue dot, and if I can find one, so there's a glue dot. Let me look which way my bow's going to sit. This way, nicely. There. So there was this one. Let me see. This one I made with the gold foil, and for this one I used the So Many Stars stamps and dies, and for the last one, the Evening Evergreen, we'll change those two around there. For the Evening Evergreen, I used the embellished ornaments dies. You see, they all have lots of pieces that cut out, and that's what you need, so that you see the foil behind. And that made 3 beautiful cards. So there, as almost always, these are my own designs. Feel free to copy them, copy and share. Just see where you saw the technique and who you learned it from. And as always, if you sell your cards, please put the Stampin' Up Angel stamp on the back. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week. Bye.